So this morning in our news video, we talked about last night's WWE releases. Multiple WWE superstars being released from their contracts. Just in case you missed those, we'll go over them once again. The Authors of Pain and Paul Ellering, Blair Davenport, Cedric Alexander, as well as Sonya Deville being told that she is not going to be signed to a new WWE deal when her current contract expires very, very soon. Unfortunately, in the last hour or so, 4 more releases have been announced or reported, and these are as follows. First off, Isla Dawn.
Yeah, so one half of the unholy union with Alba Fire, one-time and final holder of the NXT Women's Tag Titles with Fire. They were the second ever team to win both the NXT and WWE Women's Tag Titles. She debuted in 2013, went on to wrestle for Stardom, had quite a run over there, taking part in the 2016 5-Star Grand Prix tournament.
What's crazy about this is that it was literally just last year. It was like, 7 months ago now that they were in Scotland winning the Women's Tag Team Championships. Massive moment. And then like so soon after, she is gone from the company. She announced the news of her release herself, or has at least very, very strongly implied it, writing on Twitter, from NXT UK's White Witch to Raw's Bad Bitch to ? See you in 90, obviously referring to the 90-day no-compete clause. Lyra Valkyria as well, writing on Twitter regarding Isla's release from the company. Good riddance, we are free. Obviously joking about here. Unfortunately, she's indestructible, and after coming all the way from hell, I doubt she will stop here. Good luck to the next locker room. You'll always know when she's in the room or even in the building. You'll hear her before you see her. Hashtag 90 days. Really, really disappointing news. I think she's got a huge amount of upside. I think she's like tremendously talented in the ring.
Very popular with the fan base as well.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
It didn't, when I saw the name, I was a bit like, really? So it's one of those where I think, we often say this about releases, but it definitely, in this case, she's going to land on her feet wherever she ends up. So
very young still, still got a hell of a career ahead of her without a doubt. And you know what? I think her and Isla Dawn, her and Alba Fire made the best of what was a pretty rotten gimmick with the Witches stuff, and I actually think like some of it was quite entertaining. They did what they could with the material they were given, so best of luck, of course, to her in whatever she does next. Next up, Giovanni Vinci. Now this is a very, very confusing one. The whole situation with Vinci, it's not necessarily the biggest surprise for anybody who's been following the Giovanni news cycle in recent months.
But they've just been so up and down on it. It's weird.
It is very, very weird, and there's lots of rumors and innuendo surrounding him. He is, of course, a former member of Imperium. He took part in the 2016 Cruiserweight Classic and then signed with WWE in 2017. He was a 2-time holder of NXT Tag Gold, and then he was part of Imperium, and then they kicked him out, and then he got drafted over to SmackDown. They teased him. They had the vignettes, the video packages.
All the Vini Vidi Vinci stuff.
He's coming back to his NXT gimmick. He went over and then he got beat in mere seconds, and then had a few more matches and then just completely disappeared. And as I said, there's been lots of rumors as to why that happened. I don't really want to talk about the rumors here, but there was obviously something going on. And I thought initially when he was drafted to SmackDown and he did that stuff, I was like, okay, this is going somewhere. They're going to give him a losing gimmick and then he'll get back on his feet and do stuff.
You wouldn't give him the showtime unless you had plans, right?
Well, you would think so, but it seemed like a very old school, let's humiliate him for something that maybe went down backstage. Right. He's really, really solid in the ring and everything. And again, he's another one who's like, I didn't like the character that much and the character that came back on SmackDown that much. I think there's certainly a ceiling to that character, but he always did his best with it.
That's it. It's pretty hard to stick a landing when you're landing on that. So it's kind of just being able to roll with it and actually go out there and go when it might be something that maybe does have that ceiling is testament to it, isn't it?
For sure. And finally, as first reported by PW Insider, Gallows and Anderson, the good bros, are gone from WWE. Their career very much speaks for itself, doesn't it?
I mean, New Japan, Bullet Club, AJ Styles, three times Impact Tag Champions, 3-time IWGP Tag Champions, 1-time New Japan World Tag League winners, 2-time Raw Tag Champions, champions, one-time WWE World Cup winner.
The list goes on, man.
Anderson himself, one-time never openweight champion. He's actually a four-time IWGP Tag Champion with Giant Bernard, a G1 Tag League winner with Bernard, as well as a Noah GHC Tag Champ with Bernard as well. Big Albert getting a monster push over there. Hasn't wrestled since November last year though. Currently out injured,
which sucks even more for them, to be honest, because I don't know how close he is to returning to the ring.
No.
Obviously, they will also have a 90-day no compete because they are signed to a main roster contract. And as you say, they've been everywhere and done everything. They've been on AEW TV just due to the relationship with TNA. They've never signed with AEW, but pretty much every other major promotion. I've always found them very, very frustrating, the Good Bros, because you watch their stuff away from WWE.
They're unbelievably entertaining.
So funny, so much personality, and with the exception of maybe the beat up John Cena stuff, which is ages ago now, and before they even got re-signed to the company, I don't think they've ever truly been allowed to show off how much personality they've got.
They just kind of use them like a safe pair of hands, don't they?
Just big boys, big muscly boys.
Get in there, have a horse fight, and it's like, there's so much more they could be doing. These are undoubtedly going to be a team that probably don't need to worry too much about what's next in terms of, company interest. I'm assuming they could probably walk back into New Japan open arms. AEW probably want them. Impact potentially. We don't know how that relationship with WWE factors, whether some of these people might be able to be picked up by Impact.
I don't think it'll change anything personally. I totally agree. And they've got mates everywhere. Like, they've been doing it for so long. They know everybody in every company. So I imagine they'll walk into a job. When that 90 days is up, I don't think they'll struggle at all. I totally
Maybe
agree.
Gallows can go wrestle the Great Power Uti again.
I was looking at his Wikipedia just before we started, and his list of in-ring names is like scrolling for like 10 minutes. He's done it all. They're both vets at this point, of course. Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful tweeting in the last hour, just regarding if we're going to see any more of these releases. Obviously, hopefully we won't, but he just tweeted saying, I do not yet know if these releases, referring to the 4 that we've just talked about there, were today or last night. Don't know if this is all the names or if they are done. We'll keep you updated via cultaholic.com. Hopefully this is the end of it and we won't see any more releases. And just before we do move on, go and support these guys and gals wherever they pop up, and you'll probably see them start shifting their own merch. Go and buy some merch. If you've enjoyed their in-ring work, it's a great way to support them as well. So best of luck to everybody that we've just talked about, as well as the ones that we talked about this morning as well. Blair Davenport was one of those names that we talked about, and she has just tweeted regarding her potential next move after WWE, and I don't think this will come as a massive surprise to anybody.
No, she tweeted out Top Gaijin with the top emoji either side of it. But she's had over 100 matches, I think it is, in Stardom. She was a fixture there. She can go over there, reinvent herself again. Because, I mean, when Bea Priestley left the UK, went to Japan and then came back, it was like an entirely different person.
Oh, man.
In terms of the in-ring was insane. So it's like, being able to go over there, reinvent yourself again, potentially. But she's got enough history there that I think she could probably make some pretty big waves over in Stardom.
Yeah, for sure. Again, she's super young still, and she'll do fantastic stuff, no doubt. It's not the end of the line for any of the names that we've talked about. Right, that is it from us, hopefully. Anyway, thank you very, very much for watching. Cheers for sticking with us. As I say, any more news that comes out regarding this will be on cultaholic.com. Enjoy the rest of your weekends. Take care, and we'll see you in a bit.